Hey, so what's everyone? Not just your average Joe. So this caught me off guard. There are some new units to talk about, and for the most part, it's you. I think you would pull this banner more for the art than you would do for the actual unit. I think I'm not entirely sure about that. Don't quote me on that. I have no idea the stat distributions, but I'm going to assume it's really good. So they have very Japanese style garments. Maybe this is a November theme. I'm not sure if maybe there's like a cultural festival that occurs in November for Japan. I'm not entirely sure. But Corrin has like it's a beautiful dress. It's actually really nice, and it's Azura esque. I'm gonna be honest. It's very Azura esque. So Draconic Rage. So minus countdown one. If the number of allies within two spaces is greater than the number of foes within two spaces, grants attacks. So it's like an attack speed bond. Kind of. It's only if your number of allies that are around you outnumber the allies around your foe. And then it has the usual. If the range is 2, then cause damage using the lower of the foe's defenses. So I forget what that's called, like adaptive damage. I think that's what it's called. So a rally attack speed's okay. Draconic aura's okay. Attack speed bond is fine, but considering that she is a Maneki, she's gonna be really good. Well, not really good, but she's gonna be one of the more bulkier units, depending on her stat distribution. If I gotta compare her to the current Corrin, she'll probably be like a mobile tank. Doesn't it seems to go that way because if she's getting a guaranteed follow up attack. No, she's not. She's getting like a bond. Sounds like she might. Maybe she's like a mobile tank, just like her other self, like just like better skilled. Okay, this is kind of weird to me. It also does look like Azura's garments. I don't know how to feel about it. So he has Draconic Rage too. So he's a dragon as well. I wasn't paying attention. Where did it say? Where did it say color? I really wasn't paying attention. So he's blue and what's come on. Female Corrin is green. Okay, so female Corrin is green and male Corrin is blue. So that's fine. I actually like no follow-up attack, so it's basically like a wary fighter. Oh shoot. But like specific, it's very specific. So it disables foe skills that guarantees foes follow-up attack and foe skills that prevent units follow-up attack. Actually, if it says end, this seems to only affect breakers and it disables foe skills that guarantees foes follow-up attack and foe skills. So is it and or does it have to be at the same time? Because if it has to be the same time, it's only negating the breakers. But if it's like a more of like an and or effect, then this would go in line with quick riposte, however you want to pronounce that. I'm just thinking of like other skills that this would fall under. Not really desperation because you have to outspeed anyway, like the thunder armad skills, like Garm's skill, because that would, but they don't prevent a follow-up attack. Thunder armad it does prevent a follow-up attack. But then if you have vengeful fighter, like does it only null the breakers or does it null like the fighter skills? Because that's actually what I'm most curious about, because the fighter skills don't prevent you from don't prevent you from counter like having a follow-up attack. It just guarantees a follow-up attack. So like is that like an and or okay. If they're releasing this on a dragon, it seems like it would be an anti-armor kind of skill. So I would lean towards more it would negate the fighter skills. However, I cannot 100% certain, but I can guarantee that what I am very certain about is that it negates the breaker skills, which people don't really use often unless you're a mage. So I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. And he's fighting a dragon unit. His attack seems stronger. Well, no, they have adapted damage, so it's not really a good way to look at it. Okay, So they released Mikoto, and may I say how gorgeous she looks? She looks absolutely beautiful. But what gets me is Flash after combat. If units attacked, inflict status on target and foes. But what does that mean? Oh, preventing counter attacks to. Oh, I didn't read that when I initially watched it. So it's basically like, is that Lynn's staff? I swear that she has that staff. Like it's like candlelight. It's not particularly good. Is well, I guess it's more useful as a player skill, but like I don't know. You'd have to really plan that out. I don't know. She might be a little underwhelming. That's all I have to say. Looks like you might use her more for her skills and her actual prowess in combat. That's what it looks like at least, and I'm kind of disappointed in that. And then, of course, okay, I'm gonna have to admit though, she looks a lot more kawaii. Like she looks younger, doesn't she? She kind of looks like she's like what, 16, 17. She looks really cute. Um, I mean, they're not really like, cause like when you look at the art, you can tell like they're really really trying for you to look at her breasts and stuff. But this one looks a little bit more conservative, and it's by God, it looks amazing. The art is beautiful. Um, Book of Dreams. If unit is adjacent to an ally, so it kind of combos well with her attack bond. I had no idea how her speed would be. So this would be an effect that happens during combat. So it doesn't seem like it would be like a something that would be affected by harsh command or something. So it's a really interesting skill. Um, she seems to be very, 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 very much towards attack and res. So I'm gonna assume that those are two of her higher stats. Even thinking about all the other iterations of Camilla that have been released, tends to have lower defenses. No, sorry, lower defense, a little bit more, magic based. A decent amount of speed too. Always a decent attack stat, so that I'm gonna assume that this is gonna be similar. Very curious to see how this goes. I did not check what kind of unit she was. So she's a red tome user. Wow, there's so much red tome flyers. I still think, in terms of stats, it might be some Tana, because you have Halloween Noe too, and this is a rivaling. But the problem is getting them, so that's an issue. Loki. So it's a paralog. Okay, so what I'm curious about is Mikoto, right? Because, man, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about her because it's a little underwhelming. She feels more like she's there for stat inheritance, unless she's a really good like infantry unit. So I really don't know what's gonna go on. Like I really don't know what's gonna happen. But that's my take on it, anyways. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything to add, let me know. But these are all my initial thoughts. Thank you for watching. Later days.